The Jurassic Park/World franchise is the only movie series that has been getting worse with every movie they release, but somehow has only been getting more successful in terms of the box office with every movie they release. The franchise started off with one of the most highly regarded movies for its time with Jurassic Park, with its dinosaur design to its production and to having one of the best directors in history with Steven Spielberg, who was on a crazy run at the time with E.T., Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Schindler's List, not to mention all the other classic movies he helped produce during that time, like Back to the Future. So this franchise had one of the biggest head starts in history, but only went downhill from here, releasing Jurassic Park 2, which was just an okay movie, but still made $600 million at the box office. For comparison, that is almost the same amount of money Spider-Verse 2 made, and Spider-Verse 2 is considered an animated modern day classic. So for an average movie to compete with a modern classic is pretty crazy. Then they made Jurassic Park 3, which in all fairness was the worst performing movie in the Jurassic Park franchise, only making $300 million in the box office. But at the time, it was kind of justified because it was the worst rated movie at the time in the Jurassic Park trilogy, and it was the first movie in the Jurassic Park trilogy to not have Steven Spielberg direct. But even though Jurassic Park 3 performed worse than the other two, it was still in the top 10 most successful movies in 2020 when it released, sitting at number 8, only behind some classics like Harry Potter 2, like the first Lord of the Rings movie, which is just a legendary movie, and also one of my personal favorite movies, and behind movies like Monster Inc., Shrek 1, Ocean's 11, which is one of the best heist movies of all time, and finally, Mummy Returns. So with all this competition, it kind of does make sense why this movie wasn't so successful, but because Jurassic Park 3 didn't do amazing in the box office or critically, the next movie in the series wasn't top priority for Universal. And the original sequel they had planned for Jurassic Park 3 was originally supposed to start production in 2004, only 3 years after Jurassic Park 3, but got stuck in development hell, which if I personally had to guess why it was stuck in development hell, it was probably because Jurassic Park 3 stunk it up in the box office compared to the last two. But Jurassic Park 4 stayed in development hell for more than a decade, till we got announced Jurassic World, the new and fresh start to the Jurassic Park franchise, which was set 22 years later in the universe after the events of the Jurassic Park trilogy. And when this movie came out, I honestly thought this was a pretty solid movie for the franchise. Chris Pratt was really good in it. He was still a fresh new actor that wasn't all over the place like he is now. The new dinosaur they added, named Adonis Rex, was a pretty cool concept, and obviously they had to add the nostalgia bait like every Legacy sequel does, with showing the old Jurassic Park Jeep and having the T-Rex versus the new modified Adonis Rex. But overall, Jurassic World ended up being a huge success, and with the new fans and the old fans coming to see this movie ended up making $1.6 billion, which made it one of the most successful movies in history, and also making the most successful movie in the whole franchise, and still remains in the top 50 highest grossing movies of all time. But this movie was far from perfect, but it was a good restart to this franchise, and there was a glimmer of hope that maybe this was a start to a good franchise, right? Enter Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom. Now, I remember this movie pretty well because this was the start of what this franchise would ultimately become. This franchise ended up creating movies with cool ideas, and they just would throw stuff at the wall and would make a movie around those ideas. For this movie, their ideas was, what if we had a scary dinosaur who's also very smart, also had an exploding island with dinosaurs, also had an underground dinosaur secret trading market, and we also added a cloned human subplot. And this is how I imagine how the pitch meeting went for this movie. Hey boss, we have all these great dinosaur ideas. We want to ask you, which one should we use? And the boss went like this: we'll just use all of them. Which ended up making the movie a complete mess of a story where it felt like 3 different movies packed into one movie. But even though they had these cool ideas, they were all cut too short to make any of them really interesting. But even though I talked about the problems with this movie and why it was a mess, it didn't make a single difference because this movie still made $1.3 billion, which is an insane amount of money, only falling short behind Avengers Infinity War and Black Panther, which are some of the biggest movies in history. And for a side note, I think the Jurassic World franchise must have some type of hypnotizing machine in their trailers, and it mainly started with Jurassic World 3 because somehow they make every one of their trailers look good and convince people they won't make the same mistakes like their last movie, and this one will be an actual good movie. And Jurassic World 2 definitely started the trend with this trailer, because once I saw the trailer and I saw the scene where the dinosaurs luring the girls to the cage, I was honestly convinced that this was going to be a good movie. And then I watched this movie and it was just a complete mess. Or the people who were making this trailer are just really good at making trailers. But obviously we gotta talk about Jurassic World's 3 movie trailer, because I feel like this was the start of me going insane. And oh, did the marketing go crazy again to convince everyone that this would be a good movie. Because once people saw dinosaurs living among the humans in the trailer, people went crazy and just completely forgot about how the last movie was just a mess. mess. Then they showed the old cast coming back in the trailers for the new movie. They had people completely hooked on the concept and had people completely hooked with also nostalgia baits. And if you take anything from this video, it's that nostalgia bait is the ultimate marketing tool. You can see nostalgia bait is used in Spider-Man. You can see that with most Disney live action movies, and the worst one yet, Star Wars. Star Wars is the biggest culprit of nostalgia bait. They nostalgia bait in every movie, every show. It's crazy. And people fall for it every single time. Like when Darth Vader showed up in Ahsoka, everyone lost their mind even though they just did Clone Wars in live action. Which I did love that scene, but we all gotta admit, it is nostalgia based. But actually going back and talking about Jurassic World 3, it was pretty bad. It is currently the worst rated Jurassic Park / World movie in the franchise. And I completely agree with them. This movie isn't even centered around dinosaurs. The scenes you see in the trailer where the dinosaurs are living among humans last for like 2 minutes in the beginning of the movie, and they completely forget about it for the rest of the movie, and in the last minute they bring it up again for the ending of the movie. Because for some reason the producers have this crazy revelation that this movie shouldn't be focused around dinosaurs, they should be focused around locusts, which, you know, are just giant big bugs. And I don't know about you guys, but yes, I've seen these movies, and the only reason I watch these movies is to see the big dinosaurs, to see big dinosaur sites. So why show us bugs? We're here for dinosaurs. It's in the title. You have a giant T-Rex. I'm not here to see some bugs. And not to mention, this movie feels super crowded. There are like 7 main characters and none of them really stand out. They're only there to be like, ooh, look who we got back. Ooh, look who we got, these cool characters that you all remember. Here's a new character that brought in for the story for no reason, just to fly a plane. Like, there's so many characters that shouldn't be here and really don't add anything to the story. They're just here to be like, yeah, we got this actor. And this whole movie is just people sneaking into a building and, you know, meeting up with some old characters and dropping some references that you might have seen in the old Jurassic Park movies. Pretty much just nostalgia bait the whole entire time. Like, look, I got this can. You all remember this can? I honestly feel insane talking about this. And then at the end of the movie, they just stand around and watch 3 dinosaurs fight at the end. I'm honestly getting bored even thinking about this movie. And of course, this movie is getting a sequel because at this point of the franchise, this franchise is just pretty much an unlimited money glitch. And somehow I've been hypnotized to see these movies. I've also gone to the movie theaters, I'm pretty sure, to see all 3 of these movies. I don't know how I went. I don't know who convinced me, but somehow I was in these movie theaters. I can't tell you why I was here, but I honestly think they have some type of hypnotizing tools to make people watch these movies. These movies aren't good. Who's going out of the theater to be like, hey, you should see Jurassic World Dominion? Why should I see it? What's it about? 3 people look at dinosaurs fighting at the end. Like, you don't talk about this to your friend. This is a movie that I don't even know how it gets recommended. I feel insane. I feel crazy talking about this movie. Who watches this movie? I'm one of the people who watches these movies, and I don't even know why people watch this movie. But negativity aside, if I had to say one good thing about this franchise, it's that they're adding to Chris Pratt's legacy, because once he retires from acting, he's going to go down as one of the most successful actors of all time. He was in the Guardians franchise, he was in the Avengers franchise, and now he's in the start of the Mario franchise, which looks to be very successful. And he's in also some other smaller franchises like the Lego movies. He's in Ben 10 for like 1 episode, I think, and he's in the Superior Office show Parks and Rec. Anyways, to stop glazing Chris Pratt for a bit, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this franchise. Do you think the Jurassic Park / World franchise deserves its success, or maybe you're even a big fan of this franchise? Let me know down in the comments down below. I do like Jurassic Park 1, but besides that, I don't like any of the other ones. I think they're all pretty mid. But let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It would be very much appreciated, because 99% of the people who watch me aren't even subscribed. So don't be that 99%, be that 1%. Hope to see you next time. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Later, hater. Peace.